What's up, guys? How's it going? This is Jeff. We're going to do another video about Hilo. We're just going to talk about things to know about Hilo. If you're visiting or thinking about moving to Hilo, you know, it's just one of those. It's the second largest city in Hawaii, right? I mean, it's overlooks beautiful Hilo Bay. It's known for the Merry Monarch Festival. It's home to the University of Hilo, Hawaii, which is the epicenter for Astronomy Center of Hawaii, for Mauna Kea Observatory and Mauna Loa Observatory. Also home to Mauna Loa Macadamia Nut Corporation, which is one of the largest producers of coconuts or macadamia nuts in the world. One of them. So, yeah, that's pretty cool, right? Macadamia nuts. Whereas the other side, Kona, is known for Kona coffee. So, like I said, Merry Monarch Festival takes place in around about Easter time frame. It's an international festival for performing arts of hula. And I mean, it's some of the most amazing hula you'll ever see anywhere. Okay? It blows away, the luau resorts. I mean, they're not dancing with fire, but as far as choreography goes, they get into it. And as far as Hilo, the town itself, or the actual district. So it's a city, the second largest city, but it's a district. Okay, there's 7 districts on the Big Island. To the south is Puna District, to the north is Hamakua District, and in the other direction is Ka'u and Kona across the other side of Mauna Kea. The Hilo District extends all the way up until, I want to say, about Akaka Falls, just south of Lapahoehoe. Well, considerably south of Lapahoehoe, because Lapahoehoe is in Hamakua. Area code is 808. The thing to know about Hilo's history, it's a very resilient town. It has had its fair share of natural disasters, and it is known to be affected when the Kilauea volcano is going off, or even the Mauna Loa volcano, due to the fact that the communities around there are often, they pour into Hilo. So even though Hilo might not necessarily get wiped out by the volcano, although it could, and when you're looking at homes in the Hilo area, people are looking at, okay, there's a hill right here, so we know that lava works like a river, so it's going to take the path of least resistance. So people will purposely buy their home where it's protected by a hill or a slope, understanding that if Kilauea ever erupted and it could come towards Hilo, it would have to basically meander all the way around the hills and everything, but it could get down there. But it's pretty safe. It would take a heck of an eruption to come into Hilo town. Now, towns in that area like HPP, Hawaiian Paradise Park, Hawaiian Beaches, Pahoa, which is in Puna, those places are always under threat. And obviously when those towns come under threat, where do they go? Where do those residents go? Hilo. So yeah, Hilo is a community that comes together in tragedy. And I'm not saying this you can take it any way you want, okay? But Hilo has been deeply affected by tragedy, especially in several years ago, because in 1947 they had a tsunami, and in 1963 they also had a tsunami. And those tsunamis wiped out Hilo basically twice. There was a fully functioning railroad and everything on the Big Island, on that side of the island, that used to transport sugarcane, and it was wiped out, I believe, in the first tsunami, and then they might have tried to rebuild it again after the second one, and after the second one it was like, no, the railroad's done, because it was like a wood stanchion railroad track. Anyway, so tsunamis are a big part of Hilo's history. It hasn't happened for a significant amount of time, I want to say over 50 years now, but the tsunami sirens are something that's synonymous with Hilo. Every, first Tuesday or first Wednesday of the month, I don't know the exact day, but you will hear tsunami sirens, and you feel it in the air, like there's those sirens, I mean, and Hilo every year is under threat for hurricanes, which never really make it to the Hilo side of the island as a Cat 1. Sometimes they make it as a Cat 1, Cat 2, but they're usually a tropical storm by the time they get to Hilo. But storm surges, I mean, it'll flood Hilo. Hilo gets flooded at least once a year, I would say. Obviously, I'm shooting from the hip here. But yeah, Hilo is just a wet place. I mean, it's a very wet town. It never gets to 100 degrees in Hilo. The average high is anywhere between 80, it stays in the 80s. Let's just say 80 to 90 degrees. It never gets any hotter than that. I mean, some months are even in the high 70s for the average. Like January, February, December, high 70s average. It does get kind of chilly for a low in a tropical climate, okay? Because remember, it does snow on Mauna Kea, okay? But we're saying that Hilo being a coastal tropical town, it's not going to get like that. I mean, it's still kind of a little bit muggy and still a little bit hot. It's not like, Fiji or Tahiti where it's like muggy like Florida, but it does get its fair share of, mugginess. It's not a very hot place, like I said. It's a tolerable place, very lush, very rainy, very green, very easy to grow things in Hilo, in the Hilo district. Average rainfall, the rainiest months are November, December, it looks like. March and April get pretty rainy too. Summertime, it kind of slows down a little bit, although July is a fairly rainy average month July might be like the 6th rainiest month out of the 12, but other than that, between June, August, September, May, I guess you would call that, spring, but, it's not high. July, it does stand out. It does peak in July, and like I said, March, April, November, December are the rainy months. But it does rain a lot in Hilo, pretty much. I mean, any month you go there, you could experience rain. As far as the population demographics of Hilo, 17% Caucasian white, less than 1% African American, less than 1% American Indian and Alaska Native. The largest population is Asian. And then 14% Native Hawaiian and Pacific Islander, and less than 1% other races. 35% or 32% of the population, the second highest population of demographic is Hapa, is what they would call Hapa, which is a mixed race, kind of between, Asian and, it's basically two or more races, right? So, and I don't know if that's the exact definition of Hapa, but for anyone who's listened to the band Hapa, a great band, go check them out. That's kind of what Hapa means, 32.5%. So that would be like maybe Hawaiian and Filipino, or Filipino and white, or Korean and Filipino, something like that. There's a strong sense of community in Hilo. People come together. A lot of it, might stem from the fact that they've been extremely challenged by the natural disasters, the volcano and the tsunami. But also, Hilo is just, it's always struggling with something, Hilo. The community's always struggling. I don't know if they've ingrained it into their spirit to be like, well, if we're struggling, we'll come together. But Hilo people, the culture over there is kind of always, we're working hard to overcome this, There's always something they're overcoming. And I think it stems from, that community feeling of overcoming adversity, it's kind of like having an enemy. If you have an enemy, you have a reason to come together as a people, right? Or as a community. the enemy being the natural disasters. It's not a very warfaring place. People aren't very combative. It's not a very dangerous place. I mean, there is an occasional argument that breaks out at bars, but no more or less. One thing that's interesting to point out. So around 1100 AD, the first Hilo inhabitants arrived, bringing with them the Polynesian knowledge and traditions. Although archaeological evidence is scant, oral history has many references to people in Hilo along the Wailuku and Wailoa rivers during the time of ancient Hawaii. Oral history also gives the meaning of Hilo as to twist. So before the breakwater was built, Hilo used to get some of the biggest waves. I mean, it was a very well-known surfing culture in the Hilo Bay before they built the breakwater, which became the harbor, or which became the deepwater port for shipments. Before that was built, I mean, King Kamehameha used to surf there, and it was very well known for that before the breakwater. The breakwater was also built because of the tsunamis. I mean, the tsunamis impacted Hilo in such a dramatic way that there had to be an action taken, and the breakwater was just one of those actions taken. The first, the one that happened in 1946 or 1947, it was actually 1946. April 1st, 1946, a 7.8 magnitude earthquake near the Aleutian Islands, that's up in Alaska, created a 14-meter high tsunami that hit Hilo 4.9 hours later, killing 160 people. In response to an early warning system, the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center was established in 1949 to track these killer waves and provide warning. The tsunami also caused the end of the Hawaii Consolidated Railway. See? And instead, the Hawaii Belt Road was built. That's the one that goes along the Omakua coast. And then on May 23rd, 1960, another tsunami caused by a 9.5 magnitude earthquake off the coast of Chile. The previous day claimed 61 lives, allegedly due to the failure to heed warning signs, or warning sirens. So if you hear the sirens in Hilo that are not around the beginning of the month, that are not happening every single month, get to high ground. I mean, you're gonna have advanced warning, but don't take it lightly. It's like the hurricanes. A lot of people are like, "Oh, the hurricane's coming. It's just gonna be a category. It's not even gonna be a category 1." And then when it shows up, it's like a tropical storm surge that just is wild, right? Anyways, so moving on. Let's go to the way the locals talk about Hilo, right? What makes Hilo to locals? For them it's the merry monarch, the rain, caring and loving people. This is what one person said. Hilo has a feel for the old Hawaii, the old Hawaii, the spirit of aloha, the love. A lot of people say the love in Hilos, the love in the community. Another person says, nephew, uncle would say, people with so much aloha, so much love, aloha. I mean, this is what most of the people on this forum are saying. The small town feeling with the big town, but most importantly, the aloha shared. This is what locals are saying about the town. You see, Hilo is a place of mana. Mana is spiritual energy. Hilo is full of lehua. Hilo has ono, places to eat. I love the people, the history. Hilo known for its rain and hula. Definitely the people. So the sense of community in Hilo is very strong, and this is coming from the locals, the people who actually live there, of all different walks of life, whether they be, Pacific Islander, white, or Native Hawaiian, or Asian, or whatever, what have you, African American and Native American. It's just a very rich, cultural, diverse community. Here's another one, definitely the people, the smiles of KTA, the smell of rain, the crazy people at Black Friday. For those of you who do not know what Black Friday is the first Friday of every month that is like a party down in downtown Hilo. It's like the only time downtown Hilo gets going, the first Friday of every month. They call it Black Friday. All right. And then someone said all of the above. Old song says it for me. There's no place on earth where friends prove their value, their worth, that more than Hilo, my hometown. For sure, the laid-back lifestyle, the rain, the landscape, the genesis of people. If we like you, you'll know. If we don't, you'll know. People are candid in Hilo, you know, they tell you how it is. The genuine aloha spirit, the very special way we drive. I don't know what she means by that, or he means by that, but okay. Hilo is still the old Hawaii, so yet again, people are saying it's the old Hawaii. Waves and the hellos from people that you don't know, the feeling the rain brings, the koki frogs, the koki frogs, the koki frogs, the koki frogs. What would Hilo be without the koki frogs? Hilo is unlike many parts in Hawaii, the beautiful history, the aloha heart, the people, the respect and sense of caring. I mean, it's God's country, you know, the rain, ohana, that's family, blood related, and the love of the people. You don't have to be blood related to be part of the ohana. Rain and the laid back people, ice, shaved ice, mango pickle mango, how about it? Merry Monarch, hula. You know, take away what you want from all these, but basically the aloha, the old Hawaii, the hula, the traditions, the sense of community, the friendly people, and just the honesty in the community. So, anyways, this is what people have said. I lived in Hilo for 3 months. I like it. It's a little bit slow paced for what I was trying to look for, but I do have a great respect for Hilo and the people of Hilo, and I would live there and visit if I ever wanted to chill out and relax. For sure. Hilo,